Hey, what's
Good
up?
evening.
What's up? What's up? What's up, man? How you doing? Oh, we can't show the topics yet. What's up,
Good evening.
man? It's been a great week, a great month, and a blessed year. How you doing?
Oh man. Thank you for having this special edition to the Prism God podcast. I was a little out of pocket yesterday being my birthday. Had to celebrate a little bit. Not too much. I'm actually gonna have a little bit more celebration today. But
Good.
after the show. So we'll get some in. I did get a couple messages while we were in some technical difficulties there, but we're on now, and we'll make it happen. So thanks for everybody who's chiming in right now.
Yeah.
Feel free to drop some questions in the chat. If
Yes.
and welcome, welcome, welcome anybody out there who's listening again.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely want to appreciate you guys. Sorry about the delay. We're still technically having technical difficulties because I can't really hear. I gotta put something in the background just to be able to hear Mark. So, apologize, man. Having these difficulties, but that's how the show goes. Gotta keep going though. And
Jo-
first and foremost, I want to say this too. I apologize. Happy birthday again, Mark. You know, what's crazy is I had all these questions I wanted to ask. He was going to do the podcast, and I was like, dang, man, let me just push back the podcast so you can enjoy yourself with your family. So I appreciate you being a good sport.
Yeah, hey, one thing I know, man, is life is short. So you got to count these years as you get them. You
Yeah,
don't ever know when the last one is going to be the last one.
yeah,
We there's been some death here that hit close to home, and like I said, you just got to take it in stride. Shout out to Joe. I see you chiming in the chat
every
over here
week,
on YouTube every week.
every week.
Houston show this weekend. I actually will be in Vegas. Ralph, are you coming to Houston this weekend, or are you
No, I
going
will not
to?
be in Houston. First and foremost, I want to say shout out to Bleecker, Tom, Card Carver, and all the great artists that are going to be at Bleecker and Cards and Coffee tomorrow in New York City. I will be in New York City tomorrow, and it's a chance I'll probably end up being in London. And if not, I'll pop up at some small shop show this weekend. So yeah, I got a busy weekend. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, what's going on in London?
There's a card show out there, man. I heard a lot of people are going out there, um, and buying up everything. So I want to go out there and join.
I'll send you with some couple nickels, man. Maybe you can pick me up a Kobe or something.
Hey, we'll see what's out there. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so check it out. This week we actually got Instagram going at the same time. So for the guys that are out there watching on Instagram, feel free to jump into the YouTube channel, which is Prism God TV. If you look it up on YouTube, click and subscribe. Jump in the chat, ask us questions. Shout out to the people that come in here every week. We got a lot of talk. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot to talk about this week. We actually, because we had to change the date because of Mark's birthday, we lost our special guest, which would have been a Ray Schulte. Try to get a replacement, didn't really work out. So it's all good though. You got me and Mark, and that's all that matters,
Yeah,
right?
that's always what matters, man. We're here for the people. Obviously, we could have said no show this week, but we feel like we owe the people the show.
Yeah,
So we'll hop on, rain, snow, sleet, shine, whatever
yeah,
have you, and we'll give it a buck like we always do.
yeah. We just want to talk about the hobby, and like, man, the hobby's going crazy right now. It's responding.
Oh man,
You know, it's responding to.
it's responding to winning.
I
Hey,
mean,
hey, what do you? I know we're about to put the topic up, man, but what do you think
yeah.
about all this conversation that Ant Man is Jordan's long lost kid out in the wilderness?
Every time I see a clip of him or a highlight of him, I see him. But check this out. Somebody recently said Dwayne Wade. What do you think of that? Hey, Fashion Geek, what up?
Dwayne Wade, what do you mean?
Yeah, Dwayne Wade. You don't see flashes of Dwayne Wade?
Man, I see flashes of a lot of players right now. I honestly, yesterday when I was looking at him come and he dribbled down the lane, he stopped and then he pulled up and shot like a mid-range jumper in the paint. Like that was reminiscent of Kobe. You know,
Yeah,
like Kobe against when he hit that jumper against the Suns in the finals at the buzzer. Although that was at the corner, right,
yeah,
of the free throw line, His was more in the middle, but the way that he just stopped and then came up, and not only did he go up, he like levitated a little bit, man, kind of like Jordan esque. Like I said, so I'm liking what I'm seeing in the playoffs. I think I told you the other day that I actually sat down and watched some playoff games.
Yeah.
I've been so busy with life that I hadn't had a chance to watch any playoff games, and I know it's one of our topics, but man, there's some great basketball being played right now.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I'm actually excited about basketball because for like 2 years now, I felt like football has had the hobby in a grip.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like even now, football. And I kind of feel like we talking off topic because we about to talk about these things and the subject. But I'm just gonna say this statement. I feel like the hobby has had football in a chokehold for like 2, maybe 3 years now, right? And being the hottest product that people are really willing to buy and invest in, right? And now we getting a chance to see basketball react.
yeah,
We're literally seeing Ant-Man cards on crazy multipliers in a short period of time, which clearly means people are not afraid to be the comp, right?
no,
That's
they're
just a
not afraid
whole
to
other
spend.
conversation because the things, I mean, his prices are changing so fast. I mean, what's any of his cards worth at this point?
Yeah, no, there's no telling. And honestly, it's funny because I posted some cards up of Ant Man on Monday, and I think it was a green prism or something, man. I could be
Yeah,
wrong, but I posted it up for 350 on Monday, right? And literally had people who obviously are gonna offer you the 80%. So they were offering like 275 or something like that, right? Some crazy. And I'm like, dude, like, are you seeing what Ant Man's doing right now? Like, I can't take that low. And then a couple days pass,
yeah,
of course, now we know that they're up 2-0 on the Nuggets and he's balling out and we see stuff being like triple the price right now.
yep,
And then he comes back and says, "Hey, I'll take it for full asking." I was like, "Well, that was Monday's price, right? Now we're Wednesday. Like Wednesday is a whole nother price." And
yep,
like I said, he didn't want to pay the new price, but again, sometimes, right, people get so tunnel vision, right? We're seeing that a lot right now where people get so tunnel vision that they're afraid to pay more than what the last one sold for, right?
mm-hmm,
So I think it's like so much of like limited vision that they have. But I always give you your kudos and your flowers too, because I don't think you're ever afraid to set the comp, right? Like
yeah,
I gave you your kudos before, and I told you that um like you have vision, right? And that's what makes you successful in this space, right? When we heard it the other day, when people are going right, you're going left, right? And then on top of that, you're actually hitting curves and you're hitting trends before like the masses, and I don't know if you give credit to that just by gut, or like because you go too many to so many shows, your ears to the floor and then you hear that stuff.
yeah. I mean, I appreciate that first and foremost, but I think, dang, I feel like we going right in. But honestly, I feel like right now, right? We used to always buy football early. And
Yeah,
then for the last like 2.5, 3 years, we've been buying football all year round. So
yeah,
people used to kind of like buy in advance football. And I think now we're starting to see trends where like it's different, it's changing. Like
yeah.
football's all year round. Basketball, hopefully, will after this year will pick up as we're starting to see the changing of the guard, which actually leads us into our topics. So let's just focus on the topics right now. I don't want to because I feel like we talking around it. And I feel like ultimately we're gonna miss some things. Shout out to Michael Estrada. Appreciate you guys. The Swagger RPG, Joel, and everybody that's on the YouTube channel and everybody that's on Instagram that's watching as well. First topic of the day is actually the hottest sports cards in the hobby, which we kind of
Man,
talked about briefly,
yeah,
right? Which was the changing of the guard was football was all year round, right? Like we literally witnessed Jalen Hurts lose the Super Bowl and his prices didn't even change.
no,
And then we saw Joe Burrow lose the Super Bowl. His prices didn't even change. They might have even went up.
yeah.
And so as we continually see things like the hobbies reacting to all these different things that are going on, it's great to see basketball finally get to where we're looking at the changing of the guards, which is
Well,
another topic that we're going to talk about. But
yeah,
let's
but
talk
we
about the
really,
hottest sports cards right now.
Well, we started to see that though with Wimby, right? Like, and I
Yep.
think that generational talent will kind of start to do that. Like, it'll start to bring the casual collectors, right, to the hobby. And for the longest time, basketball used to be the one, right? It used to
Yep.
be like the
Best
bread and
product out.
butter of the hobby. And so now you're starting to see Ant-Man, right? And even Brunson. But Brunson hasn't taken off as much as Ant-Man has, right? In the last
No,
week. Like
that'll
we're
change. He's changed though. He has changed though. I used
yeah,
to have the National Treasures gold 9.5, and I think I might have moved it for like 7 grand, like at the beginning of the season.
yeah.
And now it's probably doubled or even tripled.
Yeah. I remember I had a one-on-one tag of Luca and Brunson, and Brunson was always the one that was bringing that card down, right?
Yeah. Oh
Now
shoot. Don't
Brunson
get me
might
thinking
be the
about
one
that.
that's bringing that card up.
Man, I had something similar like that. I had the Trey Young dual logo man with Shot Gildas Alexander.
Yeah.
And I hated the card because Shot Gildas Alexander was on the card. I love Trey Young. I was like, man, I like Trey. Who was this shot guy?
Yeah.
Now it's reversed.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't even know if the cards really went up or down. It's probably the same price I sold it for because it's like you could almost argue it's about the same.
Yeah, they did a seesaw little thing, right? They switched places there.
Yeah.
But man, it's gonna be interesting, man. You see the odds in Vegas are like like plus 300 or something like that right now for
Yeah.
Minnesota to win the finals after they went 0-2. And I think I didn't look at what the other topic was for today, but the hottest sports cars, man, Ant Man by far. Like if you're trying to buy Ant Man right now, I don't know. Like it maybe if they win a championship, there's going to be another bump, right? But man, the way that the hobby is reacting to him right now is going to be hard to I think make money at this point, right? But you know it's a
I
little too late,
disagree.
maybe. Hey,
I
hey,
disagree.
look, we
So
we can
so look,
disagree.
so I do disagree slightly because I don't think his prices are baked in for him winning the championship. I
Mm,
think there's a lot of skepticism to his play. We've always kind of seen him play at a high level, but I don't think his prices are baked in for a championship.
yeah.
So I think that they're like, bro, can you imagine him winning the championship this year?
I mean, it'd be crazy. I mean, I was the one who came on and said I think Minnesota was going to make the championship, and you thought I was crazy, right? You were like, "Man, I don't know. I think it's going to be Denver. I think you put Denver in the playoffs, man. We can rewind the tape, but I think I said Minnesota and the Celtics, right? Because the Celtics still look good over there. I don't think anyone's going to give them any problems right now, but OKC still got a little test against Luca and Kyrie over there.
Yep.
And but man, Minnesota, like it's not even that like they have people that are just scoring 50, 60 points a game. Now, I think Ant-Man did score 40, but that defense, like Denver couldn't even score 80 points. I think they scored 80 points in their last game. Like when how is that possible, dude? In a league that averages like 105, 110 a game, how are they holding people under 80 points, man? That's just
Well,
crazy.
defense wins championships. Very simple. Which is why I said that they were my favorite. You know, I think that what we literally are witnessing is the changing of the guards,
Yeah.
right? We're going to see some new talent that's going to get a chance to go to the finals. And hopefully we see Ant-Man win a championship, which I'm really rooting for because I want the kid. I see a lot of Jordan-esque
Yeah.
in him. I'm not going to say Jordan because I don't really think he's there yet because I haven't seen him take over a game the way I feel like Jordan dominates a game. But I will say his team is playing great defense, which I think wins championships. And you know what's crazy? I went to the playoff game last year where Denver played Minnesota in Minnesota last year, and I was thinking to myself like these guys' defense suck.
Yeah.
And to see them change it up this year to where I mean, of course, you know what I will say this: they didn't have Jaden McDaniels last year, which definitely plays a key in their defense.
No,
Jaden
he's been
McDaniels was
there.
actually injured last year.
Okay, he was injured. I know he was there
Yeah,
though.
yeah, he was injured last year. So they're playing the best defense they're playing the best defense in the NBA right now, which I think should lead them to winning.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael Estrada said a whole lot. He said Herbert prices too, not even making it to the playoffs and still pulling money. Absolutely. But I think a
Yeah.
lot of people have
Was a
spent a lot of
coach.
money on Herbert.
Yo, I mean, like I said, we talked about previously in previous episodes is people have so much money invested in cars. Sometimes they got to create floors, right?
Yep.
Like I mean, I've seen it all the time. Like, man, that card's way too cheap. There's no way that like even if I have to scrounge up a couple nickels to pay for something, there's no way that you don't bid on something just because it's so cheap, right? And
Hmm.
a lot of it is having that vision, and sometimes the vision doesn't always work out,
Yeah.
right? That's why you only can spend, within your means. But at the same time, like Herbert, I think with the new coach, I think he's going to be okay. He also asked about Trey's market. Why is his market so low? I mean, Atlanta's not winning, right?
Not
Atlanta's
winning.
not winning, and they
Terrible
haven't
market.
done enough to justify that they'll ever win, at least in the short term, right? So I think that contributes to Trey's market. But if you put player A against player B, right? So if you stacked Trey Young's stats against any other hot player in the league right now, I guarantee you that Trey, right, in a blind test, you'll think that he's the worser player. Like you think that the other player, he's the worser player. But then when you unveil, who the player is, you're gonna be like, man, like that's Trey Young. He averages that, right? Because he still averages like 25 and 10, like for his
Yep.
career.
Yeah, that's a great point. Um, and I don't want to kind of. I think you know what this conversation will be the next topic where we can kind of lead into. But before we talk about it, I want to talk about this real quick. Who is the new face of the league, right?
Yeah,
And so as we go down this path of seeing Ant-Man, right? And you just mentioned Trey Young. What's crazy is his prices don't reflect his talent. It's a lot of people in this space that the talent does not reflect their prices.
no,
Donovan Mitchell's one of them. LaMelo
yep,
Ball's another guy. Of course, we're talking about if they're healthy. So Donovan Mitchell is healthy. He's
yeah,
dropping 35 points a game. He's averaging probably 30, 35 points in the playoffs, right? Um, who was another guy in his playoff who's probably not baked in prices, who's not really getting the love. He
Halliburton,
probably
right?
Halliburton.
Siakam, Siakam.
Paolo played really well in the playoffs as well. He's another guy. His prices took a bloodbath. I think once he wasn't going to win Rookie of the Year, but another talent. So
Yeah,
I mean, when
Siakam's balling too, though. Like Siakam, I mean, I
yeah,
guess, but that's the big man theory. Because even if you look at Joker, I mean, his Joker isn't, he's not setting any records for the most expensive basketball card. He just won his third MVP,
MVP,
right?
congrats.
And I don't even think that his prices are going to jump up after that. You know?
No, I don't think so. I think he'll go down as probably a top five big man of all time. I mean, it's kind of like foreshadowing here, but to me, I told you who I felt like that team reminds me of. They remind me of the changing of the guards when it was the Bulls, and then Houston Rockets snuck in too real quick,
Man, don't
and
talk about
then
my Rockets, man.
it's okay, but they
Pause.
snuck in a couple rings real quick, and then now we got the changing of the guard, right? Which
Yeah,
was Lakers era kind of kicked in again after
yeah.
that. Um, and so I think that with the changing of the guards, we're going to see a lot of people not talking about Ja. Please
Nah.
believe Ja will be in the
Well,
top four or
you
five next year,
you
and
can't
they're going
say
to make
that
noise in the
because
playoffs.
you can't say that because I've actually seen like a lot of quotes that said, "Man, next year, imagine an Ant Man John Morant Western Conference Final, right?
Crazy.
I mean, what would
A
that
lot of
look like?"
emotion out of those boys.
Yeah. And then even if you go like take a step back, right, before you get to the finals next year, like if San Antonio it makes some noise this year in the offseason and picks up, someone to come to San Antonio to pair up with Wimby, like that team, whatever team that is coming, out of San
Trey Young,
Antonio
Steph Curry
might be
coming.
okay. Yeah.
Man. Well, next topic that we want to kind of focus on is with the champs about to lose, will we see a new champion? That's a question.
Definitely.
What you thinking?
Like I think, man, they're on the doorstep of getting swept, right? And I was thinking about it the other day. So the last team that was really this dominant, right, in the playoffs, and they did lose one game, but they went like 16-1. And I don't know if you know what team that is. But It was the Lakers when they played Philadelphia, right? And Philadelphia squeezed out that first win in LA, and he did the step around Tyronn Lue or whatever. But this is how dominant Minnesota looks right now. Like they have the potential to go through the playoffs, right, and not lose a game, right?
Hmm,
Like their defense is that good.
I
Now,
agree.
I'll probably eat my words next week. Probably they'll, Denver goes and finds a way to stop them in Minnesota, but they have the potential to sweep the playoffs, right? And I don't
Yeah,
know if that's ever been done. Right, I think maybe some teams have gotten really close. Like I said, the Lakers got really close to doing it. They went 16-1, but this Minnesota team, it's scary. It's scary, and you know what's even more scary? They're so young, right?
yeah,
Like
hungry.
a lot of the people on the team right now, they're probably under 25. Like the majority of the team.
So that takes me to my next question. So, who's going to win this next series in the West, where OKC is playing Dallas, and we just saw Dallas get blown out by OKC, another young team with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the way, right?
Yeah.
And those guys are balling, but I mean, are they good enough defensively?
Yeah, but you know what? I like who do you prefer to see, right? Like in obviously perfect world scenario, would you rather see a matchup of Ant-Man versus Shea or Ant-Man versus Ja?
Well, in the future, I would like to see Ja because I like the emotion of Ja. Ja's a charismatic basketball player the same way as Ant-Man. And I think I used to talk to several friends about the idea of there's several players in the league that don't have the charisma of Ja Morant, but if they had it, they would be next level, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Green's one of those guys, right?
Yeah.
If he has the, and I think we started to see a little bit this year, but he needs to keep it consistent, needs to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Ja's the type of person who can carry a team. We've seen
Yeah.
it. We've seen it when he played Golden State. And I hate that he's not really in it this year because I feel like they would be one of my favorites. I said it, they were one of my favorites this year going
Yeah.
into if they
At the
were
beginning of
healthy.
the year. Yeah. At the beginning of the season, you did say that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're seeing, like I said, it's like a lot of older players who are about to leave. I mean, it was like a perfect storm, even for Boston, right? Which I feel like Boston's the same team every year for the last 5, 6 years.
Yeah. But
I mean,
man,
what's up with that?
but what a series that's going to look like. Even the series right now, and it's kind of nostalgic, right? You're seeing the Knicks versus the Pacers, and again, that was one of the first
Yeah,
games, and I saw the tail end of it, right? But you saw Stephon Marbury just getting crunk in the
yeah,
stands. You saw John Starks out there. You saw just every great that you can think of. Knicks
yeah,
great were just there like in the zone in the moment, man, and it was crazy because they really should have lost that game. I like that charge at the end of that game was
yeah.
like nobody ever calls that, right?
Nope.
And had that not happened, man, and they go ahead, but I tell you what, Vincenzo, Dante DiVincenzo,
Yeah,
dude, ice water in his veins, man. For him to actually want to take that shot and then drain it, dude, it was an epic game to say the least.
absolutely. And I think he's gonna. The Knicks are they're dogs too, right? I expect the Knicks to get out of this series, and I think they're going to beat Boston too. Will be a tough series, but I definitely expect the Knicks to do it because I don't feel like anybody in Boston has heart, bro. They have a heart.
Nah, come on,
I
man.
don't think
Pause,
so, man.
man.
Like Jason
Nah.
Tatum just seems like a stale basketball player to me.
It's because the game is so easy right now. They haven't really had to put on their big boy shoes and play. Like they're beating everybody like without even trying. I think, right? Now when you put a dog up next to them, like if they play the Knicks, I think you see a different Boston Celtics.
You're gonna have to because that's what's gonna take to beat the Knicks. The Knicks are, balls to the wall. They're doing whatever they have to do. I mean, we talking about those Villanova boys, bro. They coming with it. Like, and I don't expect them to win the title, but I do expect them to get to the finals and beat Boston. It will be a tough series. Um, but I definitely think we're gonna see a new champion this year. I
Yeah.
expect the Denver Nuggets to get swept. I expect it's tough for me to say Luka's going to lose this series versus OKC, but I definitely think OKC is going to probably pull it off, maybe in six. It's just they don't have enough. I've always said they don't have enough. I mean,
Yeah.
and you're seeing it. I mean, even I always challenge the athleticism of Luka, even when he first got drafted, and I feel like you're starting to see. the lack of athleticism.
Chill on his Celtics, man. Hey, Michael, man, you can't
No,
root for every team, man. That
no,
means you'll
man. I
never
can't.
lose.
No, I ain't rooting for every team, bro. I'm
No,
sorry. I
not
gotta
you.
call it like I see it.
I'm saying Michael was over here, OKC, then he's on Minnesota, then now he's on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Celtics. It's like, hey, you gotta pick. Hey, you can't hood hop, man. You gotta pick a team. But I
Hey,
will,
I
but I
agree.
will say this, man. They're watching some of these games. This is the most excited I've been about a NBA playoffs in some time, right?
Yeah,
Even like everybody was rooting for the Lakers. At least I was, right? Look, rooting
yeah. I
for
was
LeBron to get another ring, and so even though they were garbage, like the fact that they made it in always gave them a chance, right? Then even with the Warriors, like how weird is it to see a playoffs without the Warriors in contention,
crazy.
right? I'm
So much
curious.
talent.
Uh,
Waste.
and and so now, like you said, you're seeing the changing of the guard now, and it's exciting, right? Games
It
like
is.
the like I said, the Pacers and the Knicks, like that's some epic stuff. And even the series before that, you see the Knicks and the 76ers. Like the 76ers took them to the brink, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they took them to overtime and came back and salvaged their season one last time, and actually had a chance to win and extend it. But they just came up short at the end. They didn't. I think Embiid fouled out, and there was some other stuff that happened. But
Tough.
man, it's an exciting NBA playoffs. I really enjoy that it's bringing back this excitement back, and
Yeah, NBA is fun.
obviously we make a living in the hobby, and I think the NBA is a little more cultured, and I like that aspect of it,
Yeah,
and I enjoy this fire that's building back up. I mean, like I
yeah.
said, we do this for a living, so it helps that it's fun.
I was gonna say too. Shout out to Love What You Collect. I know she's big on the WNBA, and shout out to those women who are carrying the WNBA, the new face of the league, which is why we talking about the face of the league, the new face of the WNBA with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Angel Reese and them, they just destroyed the New York Liberty yesterday. They dropped. They think it was like 50 to like 100 or something crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. They they
crazy.
they beat
And you
they beat
saw
the great
Caitlin
Dolphin
Clark,
boys.
right? We talked about it before their season started. They said, man, Caitlin Clark's not going to be able to do that. Once she gets to the league, and she's doing it, right?
Yeah.
So, shout out, like you said, shout out to both of them. Do you know when their first game is against each other?
No, I have no clue, but man, it might be worth going to fly into. But I definitely wanted to make sure I seen Angel and Caitlin come play in Atlanta. Man, like I said, I've never really been to a WNBA game before in my life, but I'm
Yeah.
actually really intrigued by it. I know the cost of the tickets are not as expensive as NBA games, so it'll be more something interested for me to check out, especially for the summer, man. Especially with my kids being
Yeah, not hey Michael, just giving you a hard time, man. I know you're
here.
commenting, and I appreciate all the commentary there in the chat, man. So yeah, definitely. Look, I'm a homer, so you're hitting home there with Houston, of course, and just talking about Houston, right, for a quick second, like they have a problem next year, honestly, right? They have too many young guards, right?
Yep.
Like a wealth of guards. They can't play them all at the same time. Some are coming back, were injured, coming back, are going to get healthy. And as you saw them last 15, 20 games when Sangoon went out, they're a different team with Sangoon off the floor, right? And I know how good Sangoon is, and it's interesting that dynamic and how the ball doesn't, flow as smooth when Sangoon is there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do next year. But obviously, being a homer, I want the best for them. And it was very, very intriguing to see Jalen Green come on strong at the end. And you saw his prices. Honestly, you saw his prices starting to climb back up again after they took a big dip.
Absolutely. All right, so check this out. The next topic that we wanted to talk about is blah 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 blah. Who will win the NBA Finals? And I think we kind of hinted around it already. Who you think? Go ahead, Mark. I know I kind of
I,
spoke
I,
my piece.
Well, like it's gonna be Minnesota. It's going to be the Celtics, right? I think the Celtics beat the Knicks in six, right? And I also think that we're going to see maybe Minnesota in five, right? I think Celtics find a way to beat the Timberwolves one game, but it is going to be an exciting matchup. The thing that I like the most is that you have McDaniel's that can guard Jalen Williams or no Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum, right? But you know who else kind of surprised the hell out of me? Watching Minnesota the other day, Nikhil Walker Alexander.
Oh,
Like,
baller.
dude, that dude came out of nowhere to me, right? And then I also saw Nas Reed, right? I don't think this guy. I mean, he was the sixth man of the year, but dude was putting on some big man moves down there in the paint. Like he was
Nazir
like
Reed was
having some.
balling.
He was having some Akeem Olajuwon dream shake down there, near the basket, man. And I'm like, dude, who's this guy balling? So it was really fun to see them guys play.
What up, Vic? He said he's just checking in real quick. I know he's at dinner. Appreciate you chiming in with us tonight, brother.
Yeah,
Hey, so Mike says Boston or Minnesota.
yeah, Minnesota. I already said it, man. And I know that's his team, man, but Minnesota, them dogs are playing, man. And I just like the team chemistry right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like they literally are the epitome of no iron team. But it's always good to just reach back and have Anthony Edwards go off for a smooth 40.
Hey, so look, Mojo Sports just checked in on the Instagram page. I know you out there in London. I'm a little jealous. I'm not there yet, but hopefully I will see you this weekend. We gotta get Mojo on the show. It's a
Yeah.
lot of people we gotta get on the show. I feel like I've been kind of like being picky on who we choosing, but it's like so many people hit us up about trying to be on the show. I forget. And I do want to apologize to you guys that are watching because we actually had a whole nother show planned, but it didn't really work out. But hopefully next week we will have what's his name from the Nationals, Ray Schulte.
Yeah.
Ray Schulte from the Nationals.
Hey, he,
We
he
are
got he
working on
got
getting
he got
DJ
us a
Ski
table
on the
for the
show.
national.
He actually committed to being on the show. DJ Ski. You should get that.
Eh, Man, look, dude, we got a table for the national, man. We're gonna ask him live.
Are we gonna? We got to put him on blast and say we need a table for the National. It's time.
Nah,
It might
man.
be. That's another conversation. Maybe we should have a changing of the guards at the National.
Oh well, man. You want to rock the boat, man?
Hey, look, I don't mind rocking the boat. You know how I do it. Look, I'm tired of seeing the same people with tables at the National. I need my table at the National, please.
Yeah. Hey man, look. And just shout out to everybody, man. Look, we love to have everybody on, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know you said you're being picky, man, but honestly, we had some cool cats come on the show. That I'm always geeked out to ask, questions to. A lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise that comes along the way. Even Mike the other day, man, giving his testimony. I'm gonna say testimony, man,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other day, and just giving us his root story and how he's birthed this big old tree that he is now, man. So shout out to everyone who's been on the show before. Very informative. Everyone has something to add. And look, I love
I agree.
asking questions and love to talk, man. Ralph has to shut me up sometimes.
No, stop. So look, Joe said bring Rolling with FD. He's pretty cool. Yeah, I agree. He's pretty cool. We'll probably have to bring him on the show. Michael Estrada is still out here having hoop dreams, talking about Porzingis. When he comes back, we're gonna win it. If not, we're losing. I'm sorry, Porzingis is not gonna move the needle enough to beat Minnesota.
Nah,
I'm
he's not.
sorry. You see
Nah.
what's going on with Jokic, who's clearly a three-time MVP and a baller, right? He's better than Porzingis. Is not. Don't even mix that up. He's not going to beat those two, actually three big men that he's dealing with Reed, Cat, and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was listening to Charles Barkley talk after that game, and he says, "Man, coming into the league, when he was playing, he said they always had one or two short guys on the court, right? He said Minnesota, their shortest guy is Mike Conley, and I think Mike Conley is like 6'3", 6'4", and
Hey,
everybody
you
else
know,
is 6'7" and up."
what's funny about that is like when I'm prospecting, I'm always looking for those wingmen who are tall enough to be small forward, power forwards, who are athletic, who can 3 and D, right? Because defense wins games, wins championships, and keeps you in the league long term.
Yeah.
And being able to hit that wide open three because everybody can't dribble the ball, right? That's what I look for every time I'm kind of like prospecting. I'm kind of giving you my tips, but I don't know if that's even really moving the needle ananymore.
Who
Um,
who who's your guy in Orlando?
So my Jonathan Isaac.
Oh man, but he's good. Like he had glimpses if he could ever stay healthy, right?
Yeah.
And that was your prototypical guy that you looked for, right? Long winged, he can guard every position, and Minnesota's putting that together, man. These guys, like even the mismatches and the switch ups that they do whenever they're coming off of screens, like they don't lose anything when the next guy steps in front.
Hey, so look, I want to shout out to the guys that's on Instagram. I know Cash Millen, he just said Minnesota defense is too crazy. We already know. And I see Michael Estrada. I'm sorry, I'm tearing his name up.
Estrella.
Estrella. Why you gotta crush my dreams? I'm sorry, bro. I'm just a realist. I just call it like I see it. All right, so look, is there any other topics you guys want to talk about? Because we did not get any questions on Instagram that we kind of already didn't talk
You
about. And
you
then I
I
think,
think
go ahead.
I thought you were going to talk about the awards. I didn't see it come down the bottom.
Oh no, no. You know what? We kind of talked about it anyway. But shout out to the guys who won MVP. I mean, Jokic won MVP. Well, Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year was Wemby. We've seen his prices. I don't know if his prices are dropping or going to drop, but there's no lack of interest on buying his cards.
No,
I
so
mean,
something
go ahead.
interesting that I saw, right? And I do if you put Wemby's numbers next to Rudy Gobert's, Wemby was a lot better defensively than Gobert, right? And
I agree.
he came out, he made a comment, and he said he's like, man, go ahead and let him have it this year because it's the last one he'll win in a long time, right? And
Dang,
so
he said that.
and so I like that fire under that young man, and it's interesting because a lot of skepticism was had on him at the beginning of the
Yeah.
league because he was so skinny, he was so
Yep.
lanky, he wasn't gonna be able to do this, he wasn't gonna be able to do that. And the fact that he came in and he proved a lot of those people wrong, I think a shout out to Wimby for that. And even the next guy up, the one that they had that was neck and neck with him for a long time, Chet. Whenever you had a Wimby Chet matchup, Wimby balled out against Chet, man. So
Man.
shout out to that man. Hopefully they get him some help in the offseason. I think he's gonna be the first quadruple double that we've seen in some time, man.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong about Wimby. I did not buy into the hype. I felt like he, versus the right defenders wouldn't play well. But I mean, he definitely proved me wrong. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, he's a generational talent. I don't think we're going to see anybody like him. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Wilt Chamberlain.
Damn, I wouldn't go that far. Like he don't have that much body, but I do
But
like
he's a
the
freak
fact,
athlete. He's tall. He could
man. Nah, but I
no.
think I think he's Durant 2.0. I'll go
I think
out
he's
and
too
say that.
tall for that. I don't think he puts the ball on the floor long term.
Mm. Well,
I
he's
don't think.
gonna if he feels out like Dwight Howard did, and now like I said, I don't think he gets that big. But man,
Yeah,
let him put on some size like that. Durant's been trying to put on size since he came in the league, and he ain't been able to. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of diet they put Wimby on in the offseason.
man. I hope he focuses on muscles, and that's about it. I don't think he needs to gain any more weight. I think he'll be fine because I think it takes away from his game too much. But I think him focusing on muscle, then he got to worry about Ja. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think Ja's gonna try to dunk over that man. So we'll see if it happens.
Right. So Cash Millen says his prediction is Knicks versus Minnesota. He's calling it here. I've already said that. Mark is saying Boston
Yeah,
versus
Boston in 6, and then Minnesota in 5.
Minnesota in 5. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm not gonna sleep off Minnesota, but I guess if I have a dark horse, I'm gonna go with
OKC's the number one team in the West, man. I mean, it's hard to
I'm gonna
overlook them guys, man.
I'm
But
gonna say
Minnesota's defense is so strong.
my dark horse is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. I
Nah,
know they're down one. I know they're down one, and I feel like I got to be devil's advocate because I just feel like so Minnesota is my obvious win. My dark horse is Dallas. I want to see Luca win one. I think it'll justify his values. I think it'll help.
yeah,
But I think Ant-Man winning will change the NBA
yeah,
because now you could almost say Ant-Man is chasing rings. His
mm,
team's going to get better.
yeah,
That's crazy, right?
yeah.
They keep that
I mean,
team,
but
that
we
nucleus
thought,
together. They can add a couple pieces here and there and be perfectly fine.
Yeah, but there's some other teams that are going to get better, man. So
That's
it's
true.
hard to
I agree.
it's
I
hard to
agree.
repeat. It's hard to repeat right now, man. And I'm glad that like the topics of conversation have kind of shifted, and we care about the NBA right now, right? Like
Yeah.
like usually after the draft, like it's been football, 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 and then heading into OTAs, we worry about that, and the NBA is an afterthought. So it is exciting that it's brought this new questions back in. Honestly, I'm glad to Denver, and I don't even hurt no hearts or hurt no feelings, man. But to me, they didn't like even though Jokic is winning his third MVP. Kudos to him. Like it didn't move the hobby that much, right? It
No.
didn't move the needle. It didn't bring this excitement. Like to me, they were a I guess it was kind of like the Spurs, right? When they were winning the championships, like they
Yeah.
didn't move the
Wasn't
needle as much.
exciting.
They didn't move the
Kyrie's
needle
not
as much.
exciting to watch play basketball either. He's not flashy.
Yeah.
Ant
So
Man dunks on people.
yeah, that's
John
crazy,
dunks
man.
on people.
Yeah.
That's
So
exciting. Like,
very.
so I
And that's
mean,
why that's why you said Jalen Green, right? If Jalen Green can ever pull it together, I think that he's another guy that could potentially, carry the NBA, torch with these guys. But
I don't
man,
know about Ken in the NBA. I like him a lot. His jersey's on my wall, but I don't know if he has the. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I don't want to talk too much about 2025 NBA. Let's focus on right now. Uh, I would say we got about maybe less than 10 minutes left on the show. If anybody has any questions or anything they would like to ask, feel free. It's kind of like an impromptu show. I know people are probably watching basketball right now. I'm jealous, but anything else you want to say, Mark?
nah. So this weekend, like I said, lots of shows. Get out there. Get your ears to the floor. Like he see what the buzz is. With the NFL, the NBA, and with baseball too, because even though my Astros didn't come out the gate as hot as I would have wanted them to, there are some hot teams out there.
Yeah,
You see the Yankees, man, and they're relevant again. And so whenever the Yankees are doing what they're doing, that's great for the hobby as well. You also see the Dodgers with Otani. He has a home run lead right now. So it's good to see like these players showing up. Like Juan Soto prices are starting to creep back up to when he was relevant, and he got relevant again once he got to New York. So a lot of exciting things happening in this card world.
mm-hmm.
Shout out to just everything that's happening, man. I'm just excited with everything that's happening in the space.
Yes, so I am too. Again, tomorrow, if you are in the New York area, make sure you guys come out to Bleecker Trading / Cards and Coffee. Card Carver, sponsored by Cultural Collision and Linux, and I think Zion Cases are sponsoring an art event where you can come check out Top's artist Andy Freeman, Card Carver. I think let me get the list. I'm sorry, I don't even want to lie to you. Let me see. Let me go ahead and look at this real quick. I should have been more organized for this, but I'm bad at commercials.
Hey, any good pickups for you this week?
I mean, I picked up that Jordan PSA 8, but I mean, I got a LeBron too, the SPX. And
Just
that's
came
it.
in
No,
today.
oh, you know what? Ha! I'll say my sneakers. 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 We're gonna go there. There you go. Yeah.
Those are Air
So for the
Max,
people
right?
that say sneakers are collectible, these are number 225.
Nice. I've never seen that. Like, has that happened before?
Absolutely. Actually, back in the day, Jordan ones used to be serial numbered.
I didn't know that.
Yes. They
But
had a few of
limited
them that
print
were.
run,
Huh?
limited print run, or serial numbered.
Serial numbers. So it's like a limited print run. And
Okay.
those are worth more money. Something different, right?
Yeah, definitely different, man. And we talk about it all the time, man. Don't be afraid to collect what you like, right? If y'all guys ever have any questions, right, feel free to reach out. We're very approachable. We'll answer as many questions as we can or lead you in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes, it's better to point you in the right direction than always give you the answer. Like the old saying, teach him, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man a fish, teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of it is, Master Sensei Yoda from Ralph over here, but it's one of those things where we can lead you, right? Because then you can grow, right? And then you can, know how to do it in the future, man. So definitely reach out. We'll try to help you out as much as possible. Keep sending over the questions. If you do want to be a part of the show and get on here and talk with some crazy guys and go off topic
Hey,
every
we do.
step of the way, feel free to reach out, man. You can come on and have a little bit of fun, an hour of your time, and we'll kick some questions around the room.
And I also, just so you know, at the gallery tomorrow is going to be Andy Freeman, Blake Jameson, King Saladin, Chuck Styles, Ivan Belsick, the Card Carver, Stacy Wall, Marley McFly, Card Killer, Ken Carl, Brad Davis, Jordan Spector, and a lot of other people, a lot of more people. I think Terminology is going to be there too. Hit producer Terminology is going to be there as well. So if you guys are in the New York area, come on by. It's going to be fun. I'll be there giving away Coach Collision t-shirts, stickers, and some other stuff too. So come by and holler at me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then if you don't get a chance to meet up with the great Prism God this weekend, man,
Stop.
we'll be in Dallas the following week, and obviously we'll remind you guys next week during our show. But we'll be there. Prism God will be signing autographs, and I'll be holding up the t-shirts.
No, that ain't gonna happen. But hey, so Adam 3366 says the best player in the NBA. This is coming from Instagram. What's the best player in the NBA?
Right now,
Yeah.
man, hands down,
Dang.
like not a question, not hands down.
All right.
The way that dude's playing, it's incredible, man. Just to see that young man grow and coming into his own, man. I think he got a little bit of swagger, right? With these wins, it's bringing out a whole nother monster inside of him, man, which is good to see.
All right. Here's another statement. Artradamus Pick says Jalen Green for Jimmy Buckets. Bring Jimmy home. What do you think of that?
Nah, you see what Pat Riley said? Pat Riley said, if you're not on the court, shut your mouth, right? In so many words, man. And to me, Jalen Green, Jimmy Buckets can't stay healthy. So for me, right, I'd rather have a young guy that's up and coming. That's actually, he played all 82 games this year,
Ooh,
right? Jalen Green. It was the
didn't know
first
that.
time that a Houston Rocket had done it since Jaden Harden. Well, James Harden, right? And so he actually
Homer
played every
facts.
game this. Yeah, he played every game this season, man. So why wouldn't you want a guy that plays every game than a guy that plays half the season, man?
Man,
Hands
Homer
down.
facts, man. That's facts I would never know.
And, hey, now you know, man.
All right, so I think we got about 5 minutes left. Anybody else have any questions? I will be again in New York tomorrow, followed by London Card Show this weekend, and I'll be in Dallas next week, and then I'm going to Iceland.
Damn,
Chill before Dallas.
damn, damn.
I ain't never been before.
Yeah. Hey man, but we'll be out there, man, having a good time as always. So feel free to if you want to stop by the show or you want to stop by, Dallas to say what's up, man. We'll be there handing out stickers and handshakes.
And buying cards because I'll have a team with me, Wiz, Mr. Get It and Flip It. Oh yeah, again, shout out to Mr.
Faces
Get It and Flip It
slaps.
for sharing his story on the page. I will have post a couple other clips. Wiz has a great story as well. We talked about his story a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Um, I always want to bring those guys on, but I think it's important for everybody, story to be told. Because I mean, I will say that. I mean, I think we already know the hobby is special. That's why I think we try to protect it. And I think it's great to see everybody's story. I mean, I've talked to a lot of great people in this space. I felt like in some way, form, or fashion, I've influenced a couple people here and there. Um, and I think it's amazing. I mean, because at the end of the day, I started out just like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
So
man. Like, and now we were both so fortunate to learn from people kind of who've done it and kind of paved the way for us. Like shout out to Windy City Sports Car Gerald Fortier, man. Like,
hey,
like
there you go.
I tell that dude all the time, man. Like, man, he's my mentor, right? Like, so whatever that dude needs forever, right? Like, he got it. So, he's taught me a lot, right? And with you and Jesse, shout out to Jesse and his family there. A lot of you guys don't know he did pass away. a couple years ago. But man, we talk about it today. Dude bought what was it? The Giannis logo man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he bought it for what, like 10,000, and he turned around and
Oh,
sold it for one point.
you talking about Jesse
Yeah, Jesse. I said
Anthony
Jesse.
Davis,
Anthony Davis, logo man.
logo man.
Then turn around and sold it for 1.5 million. Man, we'll talk about an ultimate
Hey,
flip.
that's
So
that's having the ultimate foresight, turning
yeah.
down 200 grand here and there, 150 grand here and there, and only paid 12,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, nah,
It's
man, it's
crazy.
crazy, man. So we learn from some of the best, man, and I'm not saying that we're the best, but obviously there's a couple things that we can kind of educate you guys on to the best of our abilities, man. So I
Absolutely.
appreciate everybody for chiming in and spending a little bit of time with us today. And we'll be back at it again next week at the normal scheduled
Tuesday,
programming. So
8
Tuesday,
p.m. will either be
um,
Ray Schulte, the was it lawyer,
Cage
Cage
Lawyer.
lawyer, or I don't think DJ Skis will be next week. It's gonna be the Cage lawyer Ray Schulte, but DJ Ski is definitely in the mix. We're gonna have him on here. He's been doing a great job talking about his PC, and we're gonna talk about his collection and how he got into space soon. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Well, thank you for having me, man, and thank you for scheduling this impromptu show, man. Definitely wanted to get it in for the week.
Yeah, me too, man. I want to keep the momentum going. That's why I didn't want to not do it. So it's dope that we got a chance to do it, and I'm very happy that we got a chance to talk it out. And shoot, we almost approaching an hour. So I want to say, as we end the show, I want to say to you, Mark, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'm just kidding, man. But y'all make sure y'all hit Mark up. Yesterday was his birthday. That's why we didn't have a show. So blame him for the new time.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, guys. Y'all, good night.